Stop counting calories for weight loss. Move over calorie counting. If you're trying to lose weight and you're desperately trying to measure every single thing you're eating, that is the wrong way. Through this video, I'm going to give you 3 reasons why calorie counting doesn't work. A calorie is not just a calorie. Now, obviously, when you're looking at food and you see 1 calorie and convert it in terms of energy units, that's calories and energy unit. But how that calorie acts in your body is very, very different. Let's look at 3 specific reasons why we don't suggest calorie counting when I'm working with my clients. All my clients lose weight. We've not had trouble in terms of weight loss without calorie counting. Now, how you can achieve the same for yourself. This is Roshni Sangvi. I'm a registered holistic nutritionist. Let's get started. Number 1, impacts of the circadian cycle and your circadian rhythm on calorie counting. What does that mean? What does circadian rhythm means? Circadian rhythm is essentially your sleep and your wake up cycle. Now, there's a lot of work done by Dr. Sachin Panda from Salt Lake University. Interesting book. If you want to read more is here. But if you don't, I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. What he did was he took mice and he put mice in 2 groups, Group A and Group B. Both the groups of mice were given equal amount of calories to eat. So both the groups were eating exactly the same amount of calories, same breakdown of proteins, carbs, fats. They were eating the same things. And it was a high-fat diet, which is not the healthiest diet either. But one group of mice, Group A, was asked to eat the calories within an 8-hour window. They were only allowed to eat food, let's say from 10 a.m. in the morning to 6 p.m. within an 8-hour span, and the rest of the time they were fasting. Group B, mice in Group B had access to food anytime they wanted. So they had a 24/7 access to food. What happened after some time? Turns out, mice in Group A, which had a time-restricted window, ended up not only losing weight, but also had better protection from chronic disease and metabolic disease markers. This is things like diabetes, cholesterol, hypertension equivalent in human beings. But the group of mice which were allowed to eat food anytime they wanted ended up gaining weight and also had higher disease risk, and metabolic markers went worse. Thus, this shows that it's not so much about the calories, because both the groups of mice were eating exactly the same amount of calories. Then why did one group gain weight and one group not gain weight? This is a sign to start understanding that calorie counting alone does not matter and should not be the only focus. In fact, how those calories behave when you eat it in your body is very, very important. This is a simple example. When you're eating a slice of pizza in the morning half, let's say about 12 p.m., and the same person eating the same slice of pizza in the evening half, let's say about 8 p.m., is very differently broken down and digested by the body. The conversion of calories from that same slice of pizza to body fat is much higher in the evening than in the morning. Thus, calorie counting alone should not be your focus. Even if you're staying in a caloric restriction, but your circadian cycle is bad, you will see that you're not losing weight. In fact, if anything, you start gaining weight. Number 2, gut microbiome and its impact on weight management. I did a very interesting podcast with Dr. Pal, who's globally known for his humor and medical humor. He's a gastroenterologist, and he was telling about a real-life case study in which a person had got a fecal transplant. Fecal transplant is when you take from a healthy person and transplant it to someone who's not healthy. And over a period of time, the person who got the fecal transplant, so who got the poop from somewhere else, started noticing that the person started gaining weight. Your gut microbiome can determine how much body fat you store and how slow your metabolism is and how much you gain weight. If you can change your gut, we have also mice studies which show if you take poop from obese mice and you put it in a mice which is lean, the lean mice starts gaining weight. And if you take poop from a healthy mice and put it in a mice that is obese, without lifestyle changes, without nutritional intervention, the obese mice starts losing weight. Gut microbiome can determine a lot of things. How do you start fixing that? Very ironically, by eating a lot of food which is rich in fiber and resistant starch, a component of carbohydrates. So if you're eating a lot of vegetables and fruits and whole grains and pulses, that increases good gut microbiome, that gives birth to something called short chain fatty acids, and this can boost your metabolism. Then it does not matter about how little you're eating or how much you're eating. Your body just becomes better in terms of burning calories and optimizing fat loss. Your focus should then be on how much more fiber can you get in your diet, because fiber is what moves the needle when it comes to good gut microbiome, and not just your calorie counting. This is the second reason that calorie counting alone cannot help you with weight loss. And why am I bringing this point up? Let's say you're on a calorie restricted diet and you're eating very little calories, but those calories are not healthy calories. You're eating a lot of hyperpalatable food, maybe saturated fats, maybe a lot of salt, maybe a lot of sugar, but you're staying in a calorie restriction. You're changing your gut microbiome. So you might see a little bit of weight loss initially, but over time, because of bad gut microbiome, your body does not show any further weight loss. Your metabolism becomes worse, and bouncing back from that can be very, very difficult. This is typically seen in a keto type of diet. If you follow a keto diet for a long time, you will initially lose weight because you're staying in a caloric restriction. But over time, because your gut microbiome is really also hampered and destroyed, you will see that the weight starts coming back, and anything you eat, you start gaining weight. Thus, it's very important not only to lose weight, but how you lose weight. And if you're doing it in a healthy manner, then you start seeing an improvement in your overall health, and the results are more sustainable on a long term. Number 3, bioavailability of calories, or what we call healthy calories. Now, let's say you take 2 groups and both the groups are eating same exact amount of calories, but one group is eating up to 200 calories extra coming in from nuts and seeds like almonds. What would happen? Would you see the group eating extra calories gain weight over time or lose weight over time? Almost all the research studies which show unprocessed nuts and seeds, unprocessed means the ones you're not roasting or you're not adding extra salt or flavoring to it, but just healthy nuts and seeds, unprocessed nuts and seeds. Nuts and seeds consumption is linked with weight loss in spite of the extra calories coming in from the nuts and seeds. So if you're eating nuts and seeds as part of your daily diet, unprocessed nuts and seeds, which is about a handful of nuts and seeds, 1 to 2 handfuls of nuts and seeds per day, over time you lose weight, you don't gain weight. This is very interesting, and something to do with the phytosterols, phytonutrients, fiber found in the nuts and seeds that optimizes your body into losing weight. Thus, actually, when you do studies where you have 2 groups, where one group is just adding extra calories from nuts and seeds and the other group is not adding, otherwise they're both eating equal amount of calories, the group adding nuts and seeds will see weight loss more than the group which is not adding nuts and seeds. What do you do with this information? Eat 1 to 2 tablespoons of nuts and seeds with your meals, and if you want to have a snack, switch to something like fruits and nuts and seeds. It's interesting that this is also seen with peanut butter and almond butter, which is concentrated in fats, but if you're having unprocessed nut butters, that also can be linked with weight loss or no difference at all, but you will not gain extra weight if you're eating nuts and seeds because they are very healthy calories. This is another reason that calorie counting doesn't work. More than anything else, I tell my clients not to do calorie counting because having done everything, I was in bodybuilding, I did do calorie counting for a very long time. Mental implications of this and the negative association with food you develop over time is really harsh on yourself, but it's very difficult to come out of. If there is a healthy way for you to lose weight, shouldn't we try to do first? Why should we try to put ourselves through, fighting with the family members to make sure that food is cooked separately for us and we are measuring our food and we are measuring everything that we are eating? It's not sustainable anyways. Let's say you're traveling tomorrow, you're going outside. Do you want to constantly think about how much calories am I eating and measure everything? While it does become important in some cases to make sure you're getting adequate amount of nutrients, let's say that if you're pregnant, you want to make sure you're getting enough proteins and calcium and enough nutrients in your diet, and for that calculation becomes important. A lot of times when I'm working with athletes, calculations become important also. But for major people trying to lose weight, look at it in terms of making lifestyle changes and not so much in terms of calorie cutting. Calorie cutting is not the healthiest way, but also now pretty outdated. There's so many other things you can do in terms of optimizing your body into becoming a fat burning machine. If you want more information, if you want to understand how we can help you, then click on the link below. You can set up an exploratory call with my team and we would be happy to understand your requirements and help you further. Hope this helps.